Emirati and Epithalamion by Edmund Spenser. Emirati, Sonnet 1. Happy leaves witness those lily hands which hold my life in their deadly might, shall handle you and hold in love's soft bands, like captives trembling at the victor's side, and happy lines on which with starry light those lamping eyes will deign sometimes to look, and read the sorrows of my dying sprite, written with tears in heart's close bleeding book, and happy rhymes bathed in a sacred brook of Helicon when she bereft is, when ye behold that angel's blessed look, my soul's long lacked food, my heaven's bliss. Leave lines and rhymes, seek her to please alone, whom if ye please, I care for other none. Sonnet 2. Unquiet thought, whom at the first I bred, of then wert bale of my love pined heart, and Satan's have with sighs and sorrows fed, till greater than my womb thou walk'st an art, break forth at length out of the inner part, in which thou lurkest like to viper's brood, and seek some succor both to ease my smart, and also to sustain thyself with food. But if in presence of thy fairest proud, thou chance to come for lowly at her feet, and with me cumbrous and afflicted mood, pardon for thee and grace for me entreat, which if she grant, then live and my love cherish. If not, die soon, and I with thee will perish. Sonnet 3. The sovereign beauty which I do admire, witness the world how worthy to be praised, the light whereof hath kindled heavenly fire in my frail spirit, by her from baseness erased, that being now with her huge brightness dazed, base thing I can no more endure to view, but looking still on her I stand amazed, at wondrous sight of so celestial hue. So when my tongue would speak her praises due, it stopped without astonishment, and when my pen would write her titles true, it refreshed this with fancy's wonderment. Yet in my heart I then both speak and write, the wonder that my wit cannot indict. Sonnet 4. New year forth looking out of Janus gate, doth seem to promise hope of new delight, and bidding thou adieu, his past date, bids all thoughts to die in dampish sprite, and calling forth out of sad winter's night, fresh love that long hath slept in cheerless bower, wheels him awake, and soon about him died his wanton wings and darts of deadly power. For lusty spring, now in his timely hour, is ready to come forth him to receive, and warms the earth with divers colored flower, to take herself and her fair mantle weave. Then you, fair flower, in whom fresh youth doth reign, prepare yourself new love to entertain. Sonnet 5. Rudely thou wrongest my dear heart's desire, in finding fault with her too portly pride. The thing which I do most in her admire is of the world unworthy most envied. For in those lofty looks is close implied scorn of base things, and stain of foul dishonor, threatening rash eyes which gaze on her so wide, that loosely they dare to look upon her. Such pride is praise, such proughtiness is honor, that bold and innocence bears in her eyes, and her fair countenance like a goodly banner spreads in defiance of all enemies, was never in this world aught worthy tried, without some spark of such self-pleasing pride. Sonnet 6. Be not dismayed that her unmoved mind doth still persist in her rebellious pride. Such love not like to last so baser kind, the harder one the firmer will abide. The dureful oak whose sap is not yet dried is long ere it can see the kindling fire, but when it once doth burn it doth divide, grate it, and makes its flames to heaven aspire. So hard it is to kindle new desire, in gentle breast they shall endure forever. Deep is the wound that dints the parts entire, with chaste effects that no death can sever. Then think not long in taking little pain, to knit the knot that ever shall remain. Sonnet 7. Fair eyes, the mirror of my mazed heart, What wondrous virtue is contained anew, the which both life and death forth from you dart, into the object of your mighty view. For when I mildly look with lovely hue, then is my soul with life and love inspired. But when I lower or look on me askew, then do I die as one with lightning fired. But since the life is more than death desired, look ever lovely as becomes you best, that your bright beams of my weak eyes admired, making the living fire within my breast. Such life should be the honor of your light, such death the sad example of your might. Sonnet 8. More than most fair, full of the living fire, kindle above unto the Maker near. No eyes but joys in which all powers conspire, that to the world not else be counted dear. Through your bright beams doth not the blinded guest show doughty stars to base affection's wound, but angels come to lead for your minds to rest in chaste desires on heavenly beauty bound. You frame my thoughts and fashion me within. You stock my tongue and teach my heart to speak. You calm the storm that passion did begin, strong through your cause, but by your virtue weak. Dark is the world, where your light shining never. Well is he born that may behold you ever. Sonnet 9. Long while I sought to what I might compare those powerful eyes which lighten my dark sprite, yet find I not on earth to which I dare resemble the image of their goodly light. Not to the sun, for they do shine by night, nor to the moon, for they are changed never, nor to the stars, for they have purer sight, nor to the fire, for they consume not ever, nor to the lightning, for they still persever, nor to the diamond, for they are more tender, nor unto crystal, for not may them sever, nor unto glass, such baseness more offend her. Then to the Maker's self the likest be, whose light doth lighten all that here we see. Sonnet 10. Unrighteous Lord of love, what law is this, that me thou makest thus tormented be? The whiles she lordeth in the sensuous bliss of her free will, scorning both thee and me. See how the tyrannous doth joy to see the huge massacres which her eyes do make, and humbled hearts brings captives unto thee, that thou of them mayst mighty vengeance take. But her proud heart do thou a little shake, and that high look with which it doth come true. All this world's pride bow to a baser make, and all her faults in thy black book and rule, that I may laugh at her in equal sort, as she doth laugh at me and makes my pain her sport. Sonnet 11. Daily when I do seek and sue for peace, and hostages to offer for my truth, she, cruel warrior, doth herself address to battle and the weary war reneweth. Nay, will you be moved with reason or with ruth, to grant small respite to my restless toil, but greedily her fear in time pursueth, of my poor life to make unpitied spoil. Yet my poor life all sorrows to assoil. I would her yield her wrath to pacify, but then she seeks with torment and turmoil to force me live, and will not let me die. All pain hath end, and every war hath peace, but mine no price, no prayer may cease. Sonnet 12. One day I sought, with her heart-thrilling eyes, to make a truce and terms to entertain, all fearless then of sorrow's enemies, what sought me to entrap in treason's train, so as I then disarmed did remain, a wicked ambush which lay hidden long, in the close covert of her guileful aim, thence breaking forth did thick about me throng. Too feeble-eyed by the bronze so strong, was forced to yield myself into their hands, who me kept having straight with rigorous wrong, have ever since me kept in cruel bands. So, lady, now to you I do complain, against your eyes the justice I may gain. Sonnet 13. In that proud port which her so goodly graceth, whilst her fair face she rears up to the sky, and to the ground her eyelids low and baseth, most goodly temperature in me descry, mild humbleness mixed with awful majesty. For looking on the earth whence she was born, her mind remembereth her mortality, Whatso is fairest shall to earth return. But that same lofty countenance seems to scorn base thing, and think how she to heaven climb, treading down earth is loathsome and forlorn, that hinders heavenly thoughts with drowsy slime. Yet lowly still vouchsafe to look on me, such lowliness shall make you lofty be. Sonnet 14. Return again, my forces late dismayed, unto the siege by you abandoned quite. Great shame it is to live like one afraid, so fair peace, for wrong repel so light. Gainst such strong castles needeth greater might than those small forts which you were wont to belay. Such haughty minds inured to hard fight, disdain to yield unto the first essay. Bring therefore all the forces that he may, and lay incessant battery to her heart. Plaints, prayers, vows, ruth, sorrow, and dismay. Those engines can their proudest love convert, and if those fail, fall down and die for her. So die and living to adore her. Sonnet 15. Ye tradeful merchants that with weary toil do seek most precious things to make your gain, and both the Indians of their treasures spoil. What needeth you to seek so far in vain? For lo, my love doth in herself contain all this world's riches that may far be found. If sapphires, lo, her eyes be sapphires plain. If rubies, lo, her lips be ruby sound. If pearls, her teeth be pearls both pure and round. If ivory, her forehead ivory wing. If gold, her locks are finest golden ground. If silver, her fair hands are silver sheen. But that which fairest is but few behold, her mind adorned with virtues manifold. Sonnet 16. One day as I unweariedly did gaze on those fair eyes, my love's immortal light, the whiles my astonished heart stood in amaze, through sweet illusion of her look's delight. I mote perceive how in her glancing sight legions of loves with little wings did fly, darting their deadly arrows fiery bright, at every rash beholder passing by. One of those archers closely I did spy, aiming his arrow at my very heart, when suddenly with twinkle of her eye, the damsel broke his missing tender dart. Had she not so done, sure I had been slain. Yet as it was, I hardly escaped with pain. Sonnet 17. The glorious portrait of the angel's face, meant to amaze weak men's confused skill, and this world's worthless glory to embase. What pen, what pencil can express her feel? For though he colors could devise at will, and eke his learned hand a pleasure guide, lest trembling it his workmanship should spill. Yet many wondrous things there are beside, the sweet eye glances, the like arrows glide, the charming smiles, the raptures from the heart, the lovely pleasance, and the lofty pride, cannot expressed be by any art. A greater craftsman's hand thereto doth need, that can express the life of things indeed. Sonnet 18. The rolling wheel that runneth often round, the hardly steel in tract of time doth tear, and drizzling drops that often do redound. The firmest flint doth in continuance wear, yet cannot I with many a dropping tear, and long entreaty soften her hard heart, that she will once vouchsafe my plaint to hear, or look with pity on my painful smart. But when I plead, she bids me play my part, and when I weep, she says tears are but water, and when I sigh, she says I know the art, and when I wail, she turns herself to laughter. So do I weep and wail and plead in vain, while she is still and flint doth still remain. Sonnet 19. The merry cuckoo, messenger of spring, his trumpet shrill, hath thrice already sounded, that warns all lovers wait upon their king, who now is coming forth with garland crowned, with noise whereof the choir of birds resounded, their anthem sweet, devised of love's praise, that all the woods their echoes back rebounded, as if they knew the meaning of their lays. But amongst them all which did love's honour raise, no word was heard of her that most did ought. But she his precept proudly disobeys, and doth his idle message settle not. Therefore, O love, unless she turn to thee, ere cuckoo end, let a rebel be. Sonnet 20. In vain I seek and sue to her for grace, and do my humbled heart before her pour. The while surfoot she in my neck doth place, and tread my life down the lowly floor. And yet the lion that is lord of power, and reigneth over every beast and field, in his most pride disdaineth to devour the silly lamb that to his man doth yield. But she more cruel and more savage wild than either lion or the lioness, shames not to be with guiltless blood defiled, but taketh glory in her cruelness. Fairer than fairest, let none ever say, that you were blooded in a yielded prey. Sonnet 21. Was it the work of nature or of art, which temperate so the feature of her face, that pride and meekness mix by equal part, do both appear to adorn her beauty's grace? For with mild pleasance which doth pride displace, she to her love doth lookers' eyes allure, and with stern countenance back again doth chase their rosy looks that stir up lusts impure. With such strange terms her eyes she doth newer, that with one look she doth my life dismay, and with another doth it straight recure. Her smile me draws, her from me drives away. Thus doth she train and teach me with her looks. Such art of eyes I never read in books. Sonnet 22. This holy season fit to fast and pray, meant to devotion or to be inclined. Therefore I likewise on so holy day, for my sweet saints some service fit will find. Her temple fair is built within my mind, in which her glorious image placed is, on which my thoughts do day and night attend, like sacred priests that never think amiss. There I to her, as author of my bliss, will build an altar to appease her ire, and on the same my heart will sacrifice, burning in flames of pure and chaste desire, the which vouchsafe, O goddess, to accept, amongst thy dearest relics to be kept. Sonnet 23. Penelope, for her Ulysses' sake, devised a web, her oars to deceive, in which the work that she all day did make, the same a night she did again unreave. Such subtle craft my damsel doth conceive, the importing suit of my desire to shun, for all that I in many days do weave, in one short hour I find by her undone. So when I think to end that I begun, I must begin and never bring to end. For with one look she spells that long I spun, and with one word my whole year's work doth rend. Such labor like the spider's web I find, whose fruitless work is broken with this wind. Sonnet 24. How long shall this? Sonnet 24. When I behold that beauty's wonderment, and the rare perfection of each goodly part, of nature's skill the only complement, I honor and admire the maker's art. But when I feel the bitter baleful smart, which her fair eyes unawares do work in me, that death out of their shiny beams do dart, I think that I a new Pandora see, whom all the gods in council did agree, into the sinful world from heaven to send, that she to wicked men a scourge should be, for all their faults with which they did offend. But since ye are my scourge, I will entreat, that for my faults ye will me gently beat. Sonnet 25. How long shall this like dying life endure, and know no end of her own misery, but waste and wear away in terms unsure, twixt fear and hope depending doubtfully, yet better were a tongue to let me die, and show the lasting sample of your pride. Then to torment me thus with cruelty, to prove your power, which I too have tried, but yet if in your hardened breast ye hide a close intent at last to show me grace, then all the woes and wrecks which I abide, as means of bliss I gladly will embrace, and wish that more and greater they may be, that greater meed at last may turn to me. Sonnet 26. Sweet the rose, but grows upon a briar. Sweet the juniper, but sharp its bough. Sweet the eglantine, but pricketh near. Sweet the fir bloom, but its branches rough. Sweet the cypress, but its rind is tough. Sweet the knot, but bitter is its peel. Sweet the broom flower, but yet sour enough. And sweet is moly, but its root is ill. So every sweet with sour is tempered still, that maketh it be coveted the more, for easy things that may be got at will. Most sorts of men do set by little store. Why then should I account of little pain, that endless pleasure shall unto me gain? Sonnet 27. Fear proud, now tell me why should fear be proud? Since the world's glory is but dross unclean, and in the shade of death itself shall shroud. However now thereof a little wing, that goodly idol now so gay a thing, shall offer flesh's borrowed fair tire, and be forgot as it had never been, that many now much worship and admire. Nor any then shall after it inquire, nor any mention shall thereof remain, but by this verse that never shall expire, shall to you purchase with her thankless pain. Fear be no longer proud of that shall perish, but that which shall you make immortal cherish. Sonnet 28. The laurel leaf which you this day do wear gives me great hope of your relenting mind, for since it is the badge which I do bear, ye bearing it do seem to me inclined, the power thereof which oft me I find, let likewise your gentle breast inspire with sweet infusion, and put you in mind of that proud maid whom now those leaves attire. Proud Daphne scorning Phoebus' lovely fire, on the Thessalian shore from him did fly, for which the gods in their revengeful ire did her transform into a laurel tree. Then fly no more, fear love, from Phoebus' chase, but in your breast his leaf in love embrace. Sonnet 29. See how the stubborn damsel doth deprave my simple meaning with disdainful scorn, and by the bay which I unto her gave, accompt myself, her captive quite forlorn. The bay, quoth she, is of the victors born, yielded by the vanquished is their meed, and they therewith do poets' heads adorn, to sing the glory of their famous deeds. But sith she will the conquest challenge needs, let her accept me as her faithful thrall, that her great triumph which my skill exceeds, I may in trump of fame blaze over all, then would deck her head with glorious bays, and fill the world with her victorious praise. Sonnet 30. My love is like to ice, and I to fire. How comes it then that this her coat so great is not dissolved through my so hot desire, but harder grows the more I her entreat? Or how comes it that my exceeding heat is not delayed by her heart frozen cold, but that I burn much more in boiling sweat, and feel my flames augmented manifold? What more miraculous thing may be told, that fire which all things melts should harden ice, and ice which is congealed with senseless cold should kindle fire by wonderful device? Such is the power of love in gentle mind, that it can alter all the course of kind. Sonnet 31. Ah, why hath nature to so hard a heart given so goodly gifts of beauty's grace, whose pride depraves each other better part, and all those precious ornaments deface, sith to all other beasts of bloody race a dreadful countenance she given hath, that with the terror of the rest may chase, and warn to shun the danger of their wrath. But my proud one doth work the greatest scathe, through sweet allurement of a lovely hue, that she the better may in bloody bath. Of such poor thoughts her cool hands imbrue. But did she know how ill this to accord? Such cruelty she would have soon abhorred. Sonnet 32. The painful smith, with force of fervent heat, the hardest iron soon doth mollify, that with his heavy sledge he cannot beat, and fashion to what it least apply. Yet cannot all these flames in which I fry, her heart more hard than iron softer wit, nay all the plaintive prayers with which I do beat on that wall of her stubborn wit. But still the more she fervent sees my feet, the more she freezeth in her wilful pride, and harder grows, the harder she is met, with all the plaints which to her be applied. What there remains but I to ashes burn, and she to stones at length all frozen turn. Sonnet 33. Great wrong I do, I cannot not deny, to that most sacred empress my dear dread, not finishing her queen of faery, that mote enlarge her living praises dead. But Lodwig, this of grace to me a reed, do in nothing the accomplishment of it, sufficient work for one man's simple head, or were it as the rest, but rudely read. How then should I, without another wit, think ever to endure so tedious toil, since that this one is tossed with troublous fate, over-proud love that doth my spirit spoil. Cease then, till she vouchsafe to grant me rest, or lend to me another living breast. Sonnet 34. Like as a ship that through the ocean wide, by conduct of some star doth make her way, when as a storm hath dimmed her trusty guide, out of her course doth wander far astray, so I whose star that want with her bright ray, me to direct with colossus overcast, to wander now in darkness and dismay, threatened perils round about me placed, yet hope I will that when the storm has passed, may Heli say, the lodestar of my life, will shine again and look on me at last, with lovely light to clear my cloudy grief. Till then I wander, care for comfortless, in secret sorrow and sad pensiveness. Sonnet 35. My hungry eyes the greedy covetise, still to behold the object of their pain, with no contentment can themselves suffice, but having pine and having not complain, for lacking it they cannot life sustain, and having it they gaze on it the more, in their amazement like Narcissus vain, whose eyes him starved, so plenty makes me poor. Yet are mine eyes so fleet with the store of that fair sight that nothing else they brook, but loath the things which they did like before, and can no more endure on them to look. All this world's glory seemeth vain to me, and all their shows but shadows saving she. Sonnet 36. Tell me when shall these weary woes have end, or shall the ruthless torment never cease, but all my days in penning languor spent, without hope of assuagement or release? Is there no means for me to purchase peace, or make agreement with their fading eyes, but that their cruelty doth still increase, and daily more augment my miseries? But when ye have shoot all extremities, then think how little glory ye have gained, by slaying him whose life though ye despise, mote have your life in honor long maintained, but by his death, which some perhaps will mourn, ye shall condemned be of many a one. Sonnet 37. What guide is this, that those her golden tresses she doth hire under net of gold, and with sly skill so cunningly them dresses, that which is gold or hair may scarce be told? Is it that men's frail eyes which gaze too bold? She may entangle in that golden snare, and being caught may craftily enfold their weaker hearts which are not well aware. Take heed therefore, mine eyes, how we do stare, henceforth to rashly on that guileful net, in which if ever ye entrapped are, out of her bands ye by no means shall get. Fondness it were for any being free, to comfort fighters though they golden be. Sonnet 38. Arraying one through tempest's cruel wreck, he forth was thrown into the greedy seas, through the sweet music which his harp did make. a lured dolphin hing from death to ease. But man wrote music which was wont to please. Some dainty ears cannot with any skill the dreadful tempest of wrath appease, nor move the dolphin from her stubborn will. But in her pride she doth persevere still, all careless how my life for her decays. Yet with one word she cannot save or spill. To spill were pity, but to save were praise. Truth rather to be praised for doing good, than to be blamed for spilling guiltless blood. Sonnet 39. Sweet smile, the daughter of the Queen of Love, expressing all the mother's powerful art, with which she wants to temper angry Jove, when all the gods he threats with thundering dart. Sweet thy virtue is thyself, sweet art. For when on me thou shinest laden sadness, a melting pleasance ran through every part, and me revived with heart-robbing gladness. Whilst rapt with joy resembling heavenly madness, my soul was ravished, quite as in a trance, and feeding thence no more her sorrow sadness, fed on the fullness of that cheerful glance, more sweet than nectar or ambrosial meat, seemed every bit which thenceforth I did eat. Sonnet 40. Mark when she smiles with amiable cheer, and tell me where to can liken it, when on each eyelid sweetly do appear 100 graces, as in shade to sit, like as there seemeth in my simple wit, unto the fair sunshine in summer's day, that when a dreadful storm awaits fleet, through the broad world doth spread his goodly ray, at sight whereof each bird that sits on spray, and every beast that with then was fled, comes forth afresh out of the late dismay, and to the light lift up their drooping head. So my storm-beaten heart likewise is cheered with that sunshine when cloudy looks are cleared. Sonnet 41. Is it nature or is it her will to be so cruel to an humbled foe? If nature, then she made meant with skill. If will, then she at will may will forego. But if her nature and her will be so, that she will plague the man that loves her most, and take the light and increase the righteous woe, then all her nature's goodly gifts are lost, and that same glorious beauty's idle boast is but a bait such wretches to beguile, as being long in her love's tempest tossed, she means at last to make her peaches spoil. O fairest fair, let never be named, that so fair beauty was so foully shamed. Sonnet 42. The love which me so cruelly tormenteth, so pleasing is in my dreamest pain, that all the more my sorrow it augmenteth, the more I love and do embrace my bane. Nay do I wish, for wishing were but vain, to be acquit for my continual smart, but joy her through forever to remain, and yield for pledge my poor captivate heart, the which that deep from her may never start. Later, if please her, bind with adamant's chain, and from a wandering love's which mote pervert, his self-assurance strongly it restrain. Only let her abstain from cruelty, and do me not before my time to die. Sonnet 43. Shall I then silent be, or shall I speak? And if I speak, her wrath renew I shall. And if I silent be, my heart will break, or choked be with overflowing gall. What tyranny is this, both my heart to throw, and eke my tongue with proudest strain to tie, that neither I may speak nor think at all, but like a stupid stuck in silence die. Yet I my heart with silence secretly will teach to speak, and my just cause to plead, and eke my eyes with meek humility, love learned letters to her eyes to read, which her deep wit, that true heart's thoughts can spell, will soon conceive, and learn to come straw well. Sonnet 44. When those renowned noble peers of Greece, through stubborn pride amongst themselves did jar, forgetful of the famous golden fleece, then Orpheus with his harp their strife did bar. But this continual cruel civil war, the which myself against myself do make, whilst my weak powers of passions wearied are, no skill can stint, no reason can slake, but when in hand my tuneless heart I take, then do I more augment my foes' despite, and grief renew and passions do awake, to battle fresh against myself to fight. Monks whom the more I seek to settle peace, the more I find their malice to increase. Sonnet 45. Live, lady, in your glass of crystal clean, your goodly self forevermore to view, and in myself, my inward self I mean, most lively like, behold your semblance true. Within my heart, though hardly it can shew, things so divine to view of earthly eye, the fair idea of your celestial hue, and every part remains immortally. And were it not that through your cruelty, with sorrow dimmed and formed it were, the goodly image of your wisdom me, clear than crystal will therein appear. But if yourself in me plain will see, remove the cause by which your fair beams darkened be. Sonnet 46. When my abode's prefixed time is spent, my cruel fare stripped me wind by way, but then from heaven most tedious storms are sent, as willing me against her will to stay. Whom then shall I or heaven or her obey? The heavens know best what is the best for me. But as she will, whose will my life doth sway, my lower heaven so it perforce must be. But in her heavens that all the sorrow see, sith all your tempests cannot hold me back, assuage your storms, or else both you and she will both together mean to sorely wreck. Enough it is for one man to sustain the storms which she alone on me doth rain. Sonnet 47. Trust not the treason of those smiling looks, until they have their guileful chains well tried, for they are like but unto golden hooks, that from the foolish fish their baits do hide. So she with flattering smiles weak hearts doth guide unto her love, and tempt to their decay, whom being caught she kills with cruel pride, and feeds a pleasure on the wretched prey. Yet even whilst her bloody hands them slay, her eyes look lovely, and upon them smile, that they take pleasure in her cruel play, and die unto themselves of pain beguile. O mighty charm, which makes men love their bane, and think they die with pleasure, live with pain. Sonnet 48. Innocent paper, whom too cruel hand did make the matter to avenge her ire, and ere she could thy cause well understand, did sacrifice unto the greedy fire. While worthy thou to have found matter higher than so bad end for heretics ordained, yet heresy nor treason didst conspire, but plead thy master's cause unjustly pained, whom she all careless of his grief constrained, to utter forth the anguish of his heart, and would not hear when he to her complained, the piteous passion of his dying smart. Yet live forever, though against her will, and speak her good, though she requited ill. Sonnet 49. Fair cruel, why are ye so fierce and cruel? Is it because your eyes have power to kill? Then know that mercy is the mightiest jewel, and greater glory think to save than spill. But if it be your pleasure and proud will to show the power of your imperious eyes, then not on him that never thought to ill, but bent your force against your enemies. Let them feel the most of your cruelties, and kill with looks as cockatrices do. But him that your footstool humbled lies, with merciful regard give mercy to. Such mercy shall you make admired to be, so shall you live by giving life to me. Sonnet 50. Long languishing in double melody, of my heart's wound and of my body's grief, there came to me a leash that would apply fit medicines for my body's best relief. Wayman, quoth I, thou hast but little proof in deep discovery of the mind's disease. Is not the heart of all the body chief, and roves the members as the self doth please? Then with some cordial seek first to appease the inward languor of my wounded heart, and then my body shall have shortly ease. By such sweet cordials pass physician's art. Then my life's leech, do you your skill reveal, and with oneself both heart and body heal. Sonnet 51. Do I not see that fairest images of hardest marble are of purpose made, for that they should endure through many ages, nay let their famous monuments to fade? Why then do I untrained lovers trade her hardness blame, which I should more commend, since never aught was excellent said, which was not hard to achieve and bring to end, nay aught so hard but he that would attend, most softened and to his will allure. So do I hope her stubborn heart to bend, and that them more steadfast will endure. Only my pains will be the more to get her, but having her my joy will be the greater. Sonnet 52. So oft as homeward I from her depart, I go like one that having lost the field, is prisoner led away with heavy heart, despoiled of warlike arms and no one shield. So do I now myself a prisoner yield to sorrow and to solitary pain, from presence of my dearest dear exiled, long while alone in languor to remain. There let no thought of joy or pleasure vain dare to approach that may my solace breed, but sudden dumps and dreary sad disdain of all world's gladness more my torment feed. So I her absence will my penance make, that of her presence I my meat may take. Sonnet 53. The panther, knowing that his spotted hide doth please all beasts, but that his looks them free, within a bush his dreadful head doth hide, to let them gaze whilst young they may prey. Right so my cruel fair with me doth play, for with a goodly semblance of her hue, she doth allure me to my known decay, and then no mercy will unto me shew. Great shame it is, thing so divine in view, made for to be the world's most ornament, to make the better gazers to embrue. Good shames to be so ill an instrument, but mercy doth with beauty best agree, as in their maker them best may see. Sonnet 54. Of this world's theatre in which we stay, my love like the spectator idly sits, beholding me that all the pageants play, disguising diversely my troubled wits. Sometimes I joy when get occasion fits, and mask mirth like to a comedy. Soon after when my joy to sorrow fleets, I wail and make my woes a tragedy. Yet she beholding me with constant eye, delights not in my mirth nor roves my smart. But when I laugh she mocks, and when I cry, she laughs and hardens evermore her heart. What then can move her? If nor mirth nor moan, she is no woman but a senseless stone. Sonnet 55. So oft sigh her beauty to behold, and therewith do her cruelty compare. I marvel of a substance with the mold, the which her made a tongue so cruel fair. Not earth for her high thoughts more heavenly are, not water for her love doth burn like fire, not air for she is not so light or rare, not fire for she doth freeze with faint desire. Then needs another element enquire, whereof she mote be made, that is the sky. For to the heaven her haughty looks aspire, and eke her mind is pure, immortal, high. Then sith to heaven it likened are the best, be like a mercy as in all the rest. Sonnet 56. Fair it be sure, but cruel and unkind, as is a tiger that with greediness hunts after blood when he by chance doth find. A feeble beast doth fairly him impress. Fair be sure, but proud and pitiless, as is a storm that all things doth prostrate, finding a tree alone all comfortless, beats on it strongly it to ruinate. Fair be sure, but hard and obstinate, as is a rock amidst the raging floods, gainst which a ship of sacred desolate doth suffer wreck both of herself and goods. That ship, that tree, and that same beast mine, who me the wreck, the ruin, and destroy. Sonnet 57. Sweet warrior, when shall I have peace with you? High time it is, this war now ended the war, which I no longer can endure to sue. Nay, your incessant battery more to bear. So weak my powers, so sore my wounds appear. That wonder is, how I shall live a jot, seeing my heart so launched everywhere, with thousand arrows which her eyes have shot. Yet shoot it sharply still, and spare me not, but glory think, to make these core stores. Ye current one, what glory can be got in slaying him that would live gladly yours? Make peace, therefore, and grant me timely grace, that all my wounds will heal in little space. Sonnet 58. By her that is most assured to herself, weakest the assurance the weak flesh opposeth, in her own power and scorneth others' aid, that soonest falls when she most supposeth herself assured and is of not afraid. All flesh is frail, and all her strength unstayed, like a vain bubble blown up there, devouring time, and changeful trance have prayed. Her glorious pride, that none may it repair, nay, none so rich or wise, so strong or fair, but faileth trusting on his own assurance. And he that standeth on the highest stair falls lowest, for on earth not hath endurance. Why then do ye proud fair me esteem so far, that to yourself ye most assured are? Sonnet 59. Thrice happy she that is so well assured unto herself, and settled so in heart, that neither will for better be allured, nay feared with worse to any chance to start. Black and steady ship doth strongly part the raging waves, and keeps her course aright. Nay, aught for tempest doth from me depart, nay, aught for fairy weather's false delight. Such self-assurance need not fear the spite of grudging foes, nay, favor sequel friends, but in the stay of her own steadfast might, neither to want herself nor other bands. Most happy she that most assured doth rest, but he most happy who such one loves best. Sonnet 60. They that in course of heaven's spheres are skilled, to every planet point his sundry ear, in which her circle's voyage is fulfilled, as Mars in threescore years doth run his sphere, so sings the winged god his planet clear. Began me to move, 1 year is spent, the which doth longer unto me appear than all those 40 which my life outwent, then by the account which lovers' books invent. The sphere of Cupid 40 years contains, which I have wasted in long languishment, that seemed the longer for my greater pains. But let my loves fair plan shorter ways, this year ensuing, or else short my days. Sonnet 61. The glorious image of the Maker's beauty, my sovereign saint, the idol of my thought, dare not henceforth above the bounds of duty to accuse of pride, or rashly blame for aught. For being as she is divinely wrought, and of the brood of angels heavenly born, and with a crew of blessed saints abroad, each of which did her with their gifts adorn, the bud of joy, the blossom of the morn, the beam of light whom mortal eyes admire. What reason is it then but she should scorn base things that to her love too bold aspire? Such heavenly forms ought rather worshipped be, than dare be loved by man of mean degree. Sonnet 62. The weary year his race now having run, the new begins his compassed course anew. With shew of morning mild he hath begun, betokening peace and plenty to ensue. So let us, which this change of weather view, change eke our minds, and former lives amend. The old year sings for past let us eschew, and fly the faults with which we did offend. Then shall the new year's joy forth freshly send into the gloomy world his gladsome ray, and all these storms which now his beauty blend shall turn to calms and timely clear way. So likewise, love, cheer you your heavy sprite, and change all dear's annoy to new delight. Sonnet 63. After long storms and tempest sad say, which hardly I endured heretofore, in dread of death and dangerous dismay, with which my silly barques tossed sore, I do at length descry the happy shore, in which I hope ere long for to arrive. Fair soil seems from far and fraught with store of all that dear and dainty is alive. Most happy he that can at last achieve the joyous safety of so sweet a rest, whose least delight sufficeth to deprive remembrance of all pains which him oppressed. All pains are nothing in respect of this, all sorrows short that gain eternal bliss. Sonnet 64. Coming to kiss her lips, such grace I found, meseemed that smelt a garden of sweet flowers, that dainty odors from them threw around, for damsels fit to take their lovers' bowers. Her lips did smell like unto jelly flowers, her ruddy cheeks like unto roses red, her snowy brows like budded blackamoors, her lovely eyes like pinks but newly spread, her goodly bosom like a strawberry bed, her neck like to a bunch of columbines, her breast like lilies ere their leaves be shed, her nipples like young blossom jasmines. Such fragrant flowers do give most odor smell, but her sweet odor did them all excel. Sonnet 65. The doubt which in me steam fair love is vain, that fondly fear to lose your liberty, when losing one to liberty see gain, and making bond the bondage airs did fly. Sweet be the bands the which true love doth tie, without constraint or dread of any ill. The gentle bird feels no captivity within her cage, but sings and feathers feel. Their pride dare not approach, nor discord spill. The leak trees them the loyal love hath bound, but simple truth and mutual goodwill seeks with sweet peace to salve each other's wound. Their faith doth fearless dwell in brazen tower, and spotless pleasure builds her sacred bower. Sonnet 66. To all those happy blessings which ye have, with plenteous hand by heaven upon you thrown, this one disparagement they to you gave, that your love lent to so mean a one, ye whose high worth surpassing paragon could not on earth have found one fit for mate. Nay, but in heaven matchable to none, why did ye stoop unto so lowly state, but ye thereby much greater glory gate, than had ye sorted with a prince's peer? For now your light doth more itself dilate, and dim my darkness great doth appear. Yet since your light hath once illumined me, with merry flags your shall increased be. Sonnet 68. Sonnet 67. Like as a huntsman after weary chase, seeing the game from him escaped away, seeing the game from him escaped away, sees none rest him in some shady place, with panting hounds beguiled of their prey. So after long pursuit and vain essay, when nigh a weary had the tree forsook, the gentle deer returned the self-same way, thinking to quench her thirst at the next brook. There she, beholding me with a milder look, sought not to fly, but fearless still did bide, till lying hand her yet half trembling took, and with her own good will her firmly tied. Strange to me seemed to see a beast so wild, so goodly one with her own will beguiled. Sonnet 68. Most glorious Lord of life, that on this day didst make thy triumph over death and sin, and having herald hell didst bring away captivity, thence captive us to win. This joyous day, dear Lord, with joy begin, and grant that we, for whom thou didst die, being with thy dear blood clean washed from sin, may live forever in felicity, and that thy love we win worthily may likewise love thee for the same again, and for thy sake that all like deirdest buy. With love may one another entertain. So let us love, dear love, like as we ought. Love is the lesson which the Lord has taught. Sonnet 69. The famous warriors of the antique world used trophies to erect in stately wise, in which they would the records having rolled of their great deeds and valorous emprise. What trophy then shall I most fit devise, in which I may record the memory of my love's conquest, peerless beauty's prize, adorned with honor, love, and chastity? Even this verse, vowed to eternity, shall be thereof immortal monument, and tell her praise to all posterity, that may admire such world's rare wonderment, the happy purchase of my glorious spoil, gotten at last with labor and long toil. Sonnet 70. Fresh spring, the herald of love's mighty king, in whose coat armor richly are displayed all sorts of flowers, the which on earth do spring, in goodly colors gloriously arrayed. Go to my love, where she is careless laid, yet in her winter's bower not well awake. Tell her the joyous time will not be stayed, unless she do him by the forelock take. Bid her therefore herself soon ready make, to wait on love amongst his lovely crew, where every one the message then her make shall be by him amused with penance due. Make haste therefore, sweet love, whilst it is prime, for none can call again the passage time. Sonnet 71. I joy to see how in your drawn work yourself unto the bee ye do compare, and me unto the spider that doth lurk in close await to catch her unaware. Right so yourself were caught in cunning snare of a dear foe enthralled to his love, in whose stray bands ye not captivate are, so firmly that he never may remove. But as your work is woven all above with woodbine flowers and fragrant eglantine, so sweet a prison you in time shall prove, with many dear delights bedecked fine, and all thenceforth eternal peace shall see between the spider and the gentle bee. Sonnet 73. Sonnet 72. Oft when my spirit doth spread her bolder wings, in mind to mount up to the purest sky, it down its weight without of earthly things, and cloaked with burden of mortality, where when the sovereign beauty it doth spy, resembling heaven's glory in her light, drawn with sweet pleasures, bid it back doth fly, and down to heaven forgets her former flight. There my frail fancy, fed with full delight, doth bathe in bliss, and mentaleth most at ease, nay thinks of other heaven but how it might her heart's desire with most contentment please, heartening now with none other happiness, but here on earth to have such heaven's bliss. Sonnet 73. Being myself captivate here in care, my heart whom none with servile bands can tie, but the fair tresses of your golden hair, breaking his prison, forth you doth fly, like as a bird that in one's hand doth spy desired food, to it doth make its flight. Even so my heart, that wanting your fair eye, to feed his fill, flies back unto your sight. Do you him take, and in your bosom bride, gently encage, that he may be your thorough. Perhaps ye there may learn with rare delight to sing your name and praises over all, that it after may you not repent, him lodging in your bosom to have lent. Sonnet 74. Most happy letters framed by skilful trade, with which the happy name was first defined, the which 3 times thrice happy hath me made, with gifts of body, fortune, and of mind. The first my being to me gave by kind, from others womb derived by due descent. The second is my sovereign queen most kind, that honor and large riches to me lent. The third my love, my life's last ornament, by whom my spirit out of dust was raised, to speak her praise and glory excellent, of all alive, most worthy to be praised. 3 Elizabeths forever live, that 3 such graces did unto me give. Sonnet 74. Sonnet 75. One day I wrote a name upon the strand, but came the waves, and washed it away. Again I wrote it with a second hand, but came the tide, and made my pensive prey. Then said she, the dust and vain say, a mortal thing so to immortalize. For I myself shall like to this decay, and eke my name be wiped out likewise. Not so could I the better things devise, to die in dust, but you shall live by fame. My verse your virtues rare shall eternize, and in the heavens write a glorious name, where when its death shall all the world subdue. Our love shall live, and later life renew. Sonnet 76. Fair bosom fraught with virtue's richest treasure, the nest of love, the lodging of delight, the bower of bliss, the paradise of pleasure, the sacred harbor of the heavenliest bride. How was I ravished with your lovely sight, and my frail thoughts too rashly led astray, whilst diving deep through amorous insight. On the sweet spoil of beauty they did prey, and twixt their pipes like early fruit in May, whose harvest seemed to hasten on apace. They loosely did their wanton wings display, and there to rest themselves did boldly place. Sweet thoughts I envy your so happy rest, which oft I wished, yet never was so blessed. Sonnet 77. Was it a dream, or did I see a plain? A goodly table of pure ivory, all spread with drunkards fit to entertain. The greatest prince with pompous royalty, mongst which there in a silver dish did lie 2 golden apples of a valued price, far passing those which Hercules can buy, or those which Atalanta did entice, exceeding sweet, yet void of sinful vice, that many sought, yet none could ever taste. Sweet fruit of pleasure brought from paradise, by love himself, and in his garden placed. Her breast the table was so richly spread, my thoughts the guests, which with their own have fed. Sonnet 78. Like in my love, I go from place to place, like a young fawn that it hath lost the hind, and seek it where last I saw her face, whose image yet I carry fresh in mind. I seek the fields with their late footing signed, I seek her bower with her late presence decked, yet nor in field nor bower I her can find. Yet field and bower are full of her aspect, but when my eyes I thereunto direct, they idly backward turn to me again, and when I hope to see their true object, I find myself but fed with fancies then. Cease then mine eyes to seek herself to see, and let my thoughts behold herself in me. Sonnet 79. Men call you fair, and you do credit it, for that yourself it daily such do see. But the true fair, that is the gentle wit, and virtuous mind, is much more praised of me. For all the rest, however fair to be, shall attend to naught, and lose that glorious hue. But only that is permanent and free from frail corruption, that doth flesh ensue. That is true beauty, that doth argue you to be divine and born of heavenly seed, derived from that fair spirit from whom all true and perfect beauty did at first proceed. He only fair, and what he fair hath made, all other fair like flowers untimely fade. Sonnet 80. After so long a race as I have run, through fairy land which those 6 books compile, give leave to rest me being half fordone, and gather to myself new breath awhile. Witnesses the refreshed after toil, out of my prison I will break anew, and stoutly will that second work assoil, with strong endeavor and attention due, till then give leave to me in pleasant mew, to sport my muse and see my love's sweet praise, the contemplation of whose heavenly hue my spirit to an higher pitch will raise. But little praises yet be low and mean, fit for the handmaid of the fairy queen. Sonnet 81. Fair is my love when her fair golden hairs with loose wind waving chance to mark, fair when the rose in her cheeks appears, or in her eyes the fire of love doth spark, fair when her breast like a rich laden bark with precious merchandise she forth doth lay, fair when the cloud of pride which oft doth dark her goodly light with smile she drives away, but fairest she when so she doth display the gate with pearls and rubies richly dyed, through which her words so wise do make their way, to bear the message of her gentle sprite. The rest be works of nature's wonderment, but this the work of heart's astonishment. Sonnet 82. Joy of my life, full oft for loving you, I bless my Lord that was so lucky placed, but then the more your own mishap by rule, that are so much by so many love embased. For had the equal heaven so much graced, in this as in the rest modern vent, some heavenly wit whose verse could heaven traced your glorious name in golden monument. But since he deigned so goodly to relent to me your thorough in whom is little worth, that little that I am shall all be spent in setting your immortal praises forth, whose lofty argument uplifting me shall lift you up unto an high degree. Sonnet 83. My hungry eyes, the greedy covetise, still to behold the object of their pain, with no contentment can themselves suffice, but having pine, and having not complain, for lacking it they cannot life sustain, and seeing it they gaze on it the more, in their amazement like Narcissus vain, whose eyes him starved so plenty makes me poor, yet are mine eyes so fleet with the store of that fair sight that nothing else they brook, but loth the things which they did like before, and can no more endure on them to look. All this world's glory seemeth vain to me, and all their shows but shadows saving she. Sonnet 84. Let no one spark or filthy lustful fire break out that may her sacred peace molest, no one like glance of sensual desire attempt to work her gentle mind's unrest, but pure affections spreading spotless breast, and modest thoughts breathe from well-tempered sprite, go visit her in her bower of rest, accompanied with angelic delight. There fill yourself with those most joyous sights, the which myself could never yet attain, but speak no word to her of these that plight, which her to constant stiffness doth constrain. Only behold her rare perfection, and bless your fortune's fair election. Sonnet 85. The world that cannot deem of worthy things, when I do praise her, sad do but flatter. So does the cuckoo when the mavis sings, begin his witless note apace to clatter. But they that skill not of so heavenly matter, all that they know not envy or admire. Rather than envy let them wonder at her, but not to deem of her the third aspire. Deep in the closet of my parts entire, her worth is written with a golden quill, that me with heavenly fury doth inspire, and my glad mouth with her sweet praises fill, which when is faming her shrill charm shall thunder. Let the world choose to envy or to wonder. Sonnet 86. Venomous tongue, tipped with a vile adder sting, of that self-kind with which the fairies fail, their snaky heads do come from witches' spring, of poisoned words and spiteful speeches well. Let all the plagues and horrid pains of hell upon thee fall for thine accursed hire, that with false forged lies which thou didst tell, in my true love did stir up coals of ire. The sparks whereof let kindle thine own fire, and catching hold on thine own wicked head, consume thee quite, that didst with guile conspire. In my sweet peace, such breaches to have bred. Shame be thy meed, and mischief thy reward, due to thyself that is for me prepared. Sonnet 87. Since I did leave the presence of my love, many long weary days I have outworn, and many nights that slowly seemed to move their sad protract from evening until morn. For Wednesday the heaven doth adorn. I wish that night the noyous day would end, and when as night hath us of light forlorn, I wish that day would shortly reascend. Thus at the time with expectation spent, and fill my grief with changes to beguile, that further seems his term still to extend, and maketh every minute seem a mile. So sorrow still doth seem too long to last, but joyous hours do fly away too fast. Sonnet 88. Since I have lacked the comfort of the light, the which was wont to lead my thoughts astray, I wander in the darkness of the night, afraid of every danger's least dismay. Nay, aught I see, though in the clearest day, when others gaze upon the shadows vain, but the only image of the heavenly ray, whereof some glance doth in my night remain, of which beholding thee I did a plain, through contemplation of my purest part, with light thereof I do myself sustain, and thereon feed my love vanished heart. But with such brightness whilst I feel my mind, I starve my body and my eyes to blind. Sonnet 89. Like as the carver on the buried bough sits mourning for the absence of her mate, and in her songs sends many a wishful vow for his return that seems to linger late, so I alone, now left disconsolate, mourn to myself the absence of my love, and wandering here and there all desolate, seek with my plaints to match that mournful dove. Nay, joy of aught that under heaven doth hove can comfort me but her own joyous side, whose sweet aspect both God and man can move, in her own spotted pleasance to delight. Dark is my day while fair light I miss, and did my life that wants such lively bliss. Epithalamion. Ye learned sisters, which have oftentimes been to me aiding others to adorn, whom ye thought worthy of your graceful rhymes, that even the greatest did not greatly scorn to hear their names sung in your simple lays, but joyed in their praise. And when the least your own mishaps to mourn, which death or love or fortune's wreck did raise, yours sprinkled soon to sadder tune turn, and teach the woods and the waters to lament your doleful jeriment. Now let those sorrowful complaints aside, and having all your heads with garland crowned, help me my own love's praises to resound. Nay, let the same of any be envied, so Orpheus did for his own bride, so I unto myself alone will sing. The woods shall to me answer, and my echo ring, early before the world's light-giving lamp his golden beam upon the hills doth spread, having dispersed the night's uncheerful damp. Do ye awake, and with fresh lusty head go to the bower of my beloved love, my truest turtle dove. Bid her awake, for Hymen is awake, and long since ready forth his mask to move, with his bright teeth that flames with many a flake, and many a bachelor to wait on him, in their fresh garments trim. Bid her awake, therefore, and soon her died, for lo, the wished days come at last, that shall for all the pains and sorrows past pay to her usury of long delight, and whilst she doth her died, do ye to her of joy and solace sing, that all the woods may answer and your echo ring. Bring with you all the nymphs that you can hear, both of the rivers and the forest screen, and of the sea that neighbors to her near, all with gay garlands goodly while but sing, and let them also with them bring in hand another gay garland. For my fair love of lilies and of roses, bound true love wise with a blue silkery band, and let them make great store of bridal poses, and let them make bring store of other flowers, to deck the bridal bowers. And let the ground whereas her foot shall tread, for fear the stones her tender foot should wrong, be strewed with fragrant flowers all along, and dire parade like the discolored mead, which down at her chamber door wait, for she will waken straight. The whiles do eat the song unto her sing, the woods shall to you answer, and your echo ring, in leaves of mala which with careful heed, the silver scaly trouts do tend for well, and greedy pikes which use therein to feed. Those troughsome pikes all others do excel, and eat likewise which keep the rushy lake, where none do fishes take. Bind up the locks, the which and scatter light, and in his waters which a mirror make. Behold your faces as the crystal bright, that when you come, whereas my love doth lie, no blemish she may spy. And icky livefoot maids which keep the deer, that on the hoary mountain use to tower, and the wild wolves which seek them to devour, with your steel darts do chase from coming near, be also present here, to help to deck her and to help to sing, that all the woods may answer and your echo ring. Who is the same? That all the woods may answer and your echo ring. Wake now, my love, awake, for it is time. The rosy morn long since left Titan's bed, already to her silver coach to climb, and Phoebus skins to show his glorious head. Hark how the cheerful birds do chant their lays, and carol of love's praise. The merry lark her matin sings aloft, the thrush applies, the mavis descant plays, the ouzel shrills, the rudder crabble soft, so goodly all agree with sweet consent to this day's merriment. Ah, my dear love, why do ye sleep this long? We meet a word that you should now awake, to wait the coming of your joyous make, and hearken to the birds' love-learned song, the dewy leaves among, for they of joy and pleasance to you sing, that all the woods them answer and their echo ring. My love is now awake out of a dream, and her fair eyes, like stars that dimmed were, with darksome cloud now shew their goodly beams, more bright than Hesper's, his head ethereal. Come now, ye damsels, daughters of the light, help quickly her to dight. But first come ye fair hours which were begot in Jove, sweet paradise of day and night, which do the seasons of the year allot, and all that ever in this world is fair, do make and still repair. And ye three handmaids of the Cyprian queen, the which do still adorn her beauty's pride, help to adore my beautifulest bride, and I see her array still through between some graces to be seen, and I see use to Venus to her sing, the whiles the woods shall answer and your echo ring. Now is my love already forth to come, let all the virgins therefore well await, and ye fresh boys that tend upon her groom, prepare yourselves, for he is coming straight. Set all your things in seemly good array, fit for so joyful day, the joyfulest day that ever sun did see. Fair sun, shew forth thy favourable ray, and let the light for heat not fervent be, for fear of burning her sunshiny face, her beauty to disgrace. O fairest Phoebus, father of the muse, if ever I did honour thee aright, or sing the thing that mote thy mind delight, do not thy servant simple boon refuse. But let this day, let this one day be mine, let all the rest be thine. Then I the sovereign praises loud will sing, that all the woods shall answer and their echo ring. Hark how the minstrels begin to shrill aloud, their merry music that resounds from far, the pipe, the tabor, and the trembling crowd, that well agree, without a breach or jar. But most of all the damsels do delight, when they their timbrels might, and thereunto do dance and carol sweet, that all the senses they do ravish quite. The whiles the boys run up and down the street, crying aloud with drunken fused noise, as if it were one voice. Hymen, yo, Hymen, Hymen they do shout, that even to the heavens their shouting shrill doth reach, and all the firmament doth feel, to which the people standing all about, as in a province do there to applaud, and loud offense her lord. And evermore they Hymen sing, that all the woods them answer, and their echo ring. Lo, she comes along with portly pace, like Phoebe from her chamber of the east, arising forth to run her mighty race, Caladolan white, that seems a virgin best. So well it her beseems that it would wing some angel she had been. Her long loose yellow locks like golden wire, sprinkled with pearl and pearling flowers atween, do like a golden mantle her attire, and being crowned with a garland green, seem like the maiden queen. Her modest eyes abashed to behold so many gazers as on her do stare, upon the lowly ground a fixed star, ne dare lift up her countenance too bold, but blush to hear her praises sung so loud, so far from being proud. Nathless do ye still loud her praises sing, that all the woods may answer and your echo ring. Tell me, a merchant's daughters, did ye see so fair a creature in your town before, so sweet, so lovely, and so mild as she, adorned with beauty's grace and virtue's store, her goodly eyes like sapphire shining bright, her forehead ivory white, her cheeks like apples which the sun hath rotted, her lips like cherries charming men to bite, her breast like to a bowl of cream uncradded, her paps like lilies budded, her snowy neck like to a marble tower, and all her body like a palace fair, assembling up with many a stately stair, to honor seat and chastity sweet bower. Why stand ye still, ye virgins, in amaze, upon her so to gaze, whilst ye forget your former lay to sing, to which the woods did answer and your echo ring? But if ye saw that which no eyes can see, the inward beauty of her lively sprite, garnished with heavenly gifts of high degree, much more than what ye wonder at that sight, and stand astonished like to those who tread Medusa's masterful head. There dwells sweet love and constant chastity, unspotted faith and comely womanhood, regard of honor and mild modesty. Their virtue reigns since queen and royal throne, and giveth those alone, the which the base affections do obey, and yield their services unto her will. Ne thought of thing uncomely ever may, there to approach, to tempt her mind to ill. Had one seen these her celestial treasures, and unrevealed pleasures, then would he wonder and her praises sing, that all the woods should answer and your echo ring. Open the temple gates unto my love, open them wide that she may enter in, and all the posts adorn as doth behove, and all the pillars decked with garlands trim, for to receive the saint with honor due, that cometh in to you. With trembling steps and humble reverence, she cometh in before the Almighty's view. Of her ye virgins learn obedience, when so ye come to those holy places, to humble your proud faces. Bring her up to the high altar that she may the sacred ceremonies there partake, the which do endless matrimony make, and let the roaring organs loudly play the praises of the Lord in lively notes, the whiles with hollow throats, the choristers the joyous anthem sing, that all the woods may answer and their echo ring. Behold, whilst she before the altar stands, hearing the holy priest that to her speaks, and blesseth her with his two happy hands, how the red roses flush up in her cheeks, and the pure snow with goodly vernal stain, like crimson lighting grain, that even the angels which continually about the sacred altar do remain, forget their service and about her fly, oft peeping her face that seems more fair, the more they honor stare. But her sad eyes, still fastened on the ground, are governed with goodly modesty, that suffers not one look to glance awry, which menacing little thoughts unsound. Why blush it off to give to me your hand, the pledge of all our band? Sing ye, sweet angels, Alleluia, sing, that all the woods may answer and your echo ring. Now all is done, bring home the bride again, bring home the triumph of our victory. Bring home with you the glory of her gain. With joyance bring her, and with jollity. Never had man more joyful day than this, whom heaven would heap with bliss. Make a feast, therefore, now all this livelong day. This day forever to me holy is. Pour out the wine, without restraint or stay. Pour not by cups, but by the bellyful. Pour out all the wall, and sprinkle all the posts and walls with wine. Let them sweat and drunken be withal, crowning God Bacchus with the coronal, and Hymen also crown with wreaths of wine. And let the Graces dance unto the rest, for they can do it best. The whiles the maidens do their carol sing, to which the woods shall answer, and their echo ring. Ring ye the bells, ye yeomen of the town, and leave your wonted labours for this day. This day is holy, do ye write it down, that he forever each remember man. This day the sun is in his chiefest tide, with Barnaby the bright. From whence the declining day by degrees, his summer loseth of his heat and light, when once the crab behind his back he sees. But for this time it ill ordained was, to choose the longest day in all the year, and the shortest night when longest fitter wear. Yet never day so long but late would pass. Ring ye the bells to make it wear away, and bonfires make all day, and dance about them and about them sing, that all the woods may answer and your echo ring. Ah, when will this long weary day have end, and lend me leave to come unto my love? How slowly do the hours their numbers bend, how slowly does the time his feathers move. Haste thee, O fairest planet, to thy home, within the western foam. Thy tired steeds long since have need of rest, long though it be, alas, I see a gloom, and the bright evening star with golden crest appear out of the east. Fair child of beauty, glorious lamp of love, that all the host of heavenly ranks does lead, and guide us lovers through the night's dread. How cheerfully thou lookest from above, and seems to laugh atween thy twinkling light, as joying in the sight of these glad many which for joy do sing, that all the woods them answer and their echo ring. Now cease, ye damsels, your delights forepast. Enough is it that all the day was yours. Now day is done, and night is lying fast. Now bring the bride into the bridal bowers. Now night is come, now soon her disarray, and in her better lay. Lay her in lilies and violets, and silken curtains offer her display, and altar sheets and arras coverlet. Behold how goodly my fair love does lie, in proud humility, like unto Maya when a stropher took, in Tempe lying on the flowery grass, twixt sleep and wake after she weary was, with bathing in the Exdalian brook. Now it is night, ye damsels may be gone, and leave my love alone, and leave likewise your formerly to sing. The woods no more shall answer, nor your echo ring. Now welcome night, thou night so long expected, that long day's labor dost the last free, and all my cares, which cruel love collected, hast summoned one and cancelled for aye. Spread thy broad wing over my love at me, that no man may see, and in thy sable mantle as enwrap, from fear of peril and foul horror free. Let no false treason seek us to entrap, nor any dread disquiet once annoy the safety of our joy. But let the night be calm and quietsome, without tempestuous storm so set free, like as when Jove with fair Alcmena lay, when he begot the great Corinthian groom, or like as when he with thyself did lie, and begot Majesty. And let the maids and young men cease to sing, ne let the woods them answer, nor their echo ring. Let no lamenting cries, nor doleful tears, be heard all night, within nor yet without. Ne let false whispers, breeding hidden fears, break gentle sleep with misconceived doubt. Let no deluding dreams, nor dreadful sights, make sudden subtle frights. Ne let house fires, nor lightning's helpless harms, ne let the pook, nor other evil sprites, ne let mischievous witches with their charms, ne let hobgoblins, names whose sense we see not, fray us with things that be not, Let not the screech owl, nor the stork be heard, nor the night raven that still deadly yells, nor damned ghosts caught up with mighty spells, nor grisly vultures make us once afeard. Nay, let them pleasant choir frogs still croaking make us to wish their true king. Let none of these their dreary accents sing, nay, let the woods them answer, nor their echo ring. But let still silence true night watches keep, that sacred peace may an assurance reign, and timely sleep when it is time to sleep may pour his limbs forth on your pleasant plain. The whiles 100 little winged loves, like divers feathered doves, shall fly and flutter round about her bed, and in the sacred dark that none reproves, their pretty stealths shall work and a snare shall spread, to filter away sweet snatches of delight, concealed to comfort night. Ye sons of Venus, play your sports at will, play your sports at will. For greedy pleasure, careless of your toys, thinks more upon her paradise of joys than what he do, albeit good or ill. All night therefore attend your merry play, for it will soon be day. Now none doth hinder you that say or sing, nay will the woods no answer, nor your echo ring. Who is the same which at my window peeps, or whose is that fair face that shines so bright? Is it not Cynthia, she that never sleeps, but walks about high heaven all the night? O fairest goddess, do thou not envy my love with me to spy? For thou likewise didst love, though none thought, and for a fleece of wool which privily the lad mean shepherd once unto thee brought, his pleasures with he wrought. Therefore to us be favourable now, and sith of women's labours thou hast charge, and generation goodly dost enlarge, incline thy will to effect our wishful vow, and the chaste womb informeth timely seed, that may our comfort breed, till which we cease our hopeful hap to sing, nay let the woods as answer, nor our echo ring. And thou, great Juno, which with awful might the laws of warlocks thou dost patronize, and the religion of the faith first plight, with sacred rites hast taught to solemnize, and dig for comfort often call a dart of women in their smart. Eternally bind thou this lovely band, and all thy blessings unto us impart, and thou glad genius, in whose gentle hand the bridal bower and genial bed remain, without blemish or stain, and the sweet pleasures of their love's delight, with secret aid dost succor and supply, till they bring forth the fruitful progeny. Send us the timely foot of this same night, and thou, fair Hebe, and thou, Hymen free, grant that it may so be, till which we cease your further praise to sing, nay any words shall answer, nor your echo ring. And ye heavens, the temple of the gods, in which 1,000 torches flaming bright do burn that to us wretched earthly clothes, in dreadful darkness lend our light, and all ye powers which in the same remain, more than we men can feign. Pour out a blessing on us plenteously, and happy influence upon us reign, that we may raise a large posterity, which from the earth which they may long possess, with lasting happiness, up to your haughty palaces may mount, and for the guerdon of their glorious merit, may heavenly tabernacles there inherit, of blessed saints, for to increase the count. So let us rest, sweet love, in hope of this, and cease till then our timely joys to sing. The woods no more, a censer, nor our echo ring, song made in lieu of many ornaments, with which my love should duly have been decked, which cutting off through hasty accidents, ye will not stay your due time to expect, but promised both to recompense, be unto her a goodly ornament, and for a short time an endless monument finish.